Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by Amazon Prime. It's Friday, May 30th, 2025. This is The Drop. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Next to him, it's the bearded one. There's Tass. Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey, yo.
And last but not least, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Hello to everybody on YouTube. Where's Leo? Trying to find him. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, we love you too. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. The hater, that is Leo. Nowhere to be seen for the last at least couple of shows, couple weeks maybe people are saying.
We miss him. We're missing him. We're missing his energy. Man, he would be so high up on the community leaderboard, which is a thing we have now.
Yeah. We don't know how it works.
We don't know.
We don't know what it does. Yeah. But congrats if you're in first, second, or third right now.
Big
you
time
have a little
congrats.
crown by your name on the stream team.
Can Leo last through the playoffs? Guess not. We've been proven correct. He doesn't have it.
He might be a casual.
Oh.
Hey, look. Hey, look. It might be true.
What if he's a podcast listener now?
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Interesting. He always hated the podcast listeners, but maybe he is. All right, we are here on The Drop to, obviously talk about last night's game. We're going to get into some beach step-in. Got a few questions that you guys sent in that we'll address, and we got rapid fire. Tass has the questions this week. What's wrong?
I am going to cramp up this show. I can already feel it. Nah, I'm feeling good this very second.
I assume I know I played hoops with you last night. Did you play again this morning?
I played again this morning, and the schedule has changed. I now play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday instead of Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh. Yeah, eat your heart out, Roger Mason Jr. I know you did it back during the lockout season, but I'm doing it now.
What a reference.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't tell if Trey was just stretching out his kimono, but it was his leg.
Yeah.
That was my backy boy.
Oh, back.
All right. Let's get into the game. Jalen Brunson scored 32 points. Karl-Anthony Towns added 24 and 13, despite that bruised left knee, as the Knicks stayed alive in the East Finals. They beat the Pacers 111-94 on Thursday in Game 5. So the Knicks finally won on their home floor in this series, and they prevent the Pacers from booking an NBA Finals trip. Indy will try again on Saturday night at home. We're going to have a podcast on Sunday morning for all of you, but let's talk about this Game 5. Where do you want to start, Tess?
Well, you said Jalen Brunson, his stat line. You got to start with that guy because he started this game. Possession after possession, it was going through him, and I said, how is he getting so open? I had to go back and check the tape. What is going on? I thought Tibbs made a nice little adjustment. He was coming off the ball way more. They were getting Aaron Nesmith into picks, and Jalen Brunson was getting into that action, and because of it, he was getting some open space. He also didn't bring the ball up. He didn't allow the Pacers to go get him at midcourt line again, so Brunson got off to that incredible start. He also started using Mitchell Robinson's verticality on the offensive end for the first time. He had his best game at whether it was screening, flipping screens, and then getting to the rim. And then Towns, we can go through the entire Knicks lineup because Towns was friggin' awesome, how powerful he was, how strong he was on the drives, in post opportunities. We're seeing a Pacers team that's just struggling to guard him overall, period, in the post. 24 and 13 for Towns. He's averaging 25 and 12 in this series. And I know you watched some of this from the Pacers' perspective. He said, well, he got away with fouls there in the second quarter when they started that 14-2 run. He hit Toppin, but they brought the force in this game. So yes, you get calls, especially on home court, and so I thought that was okay. But to see Towns and Brunson do that, and then to see that TNT stat come out, this is only the third duo to ever have 5 20-point games from both of them for the first 5 games of a conference finals. I know it's a deep stat.
That was weird,
but a lot of qualifiers.
Well, 5 games, 2 guys score 20 points each game, and in the conference finals. I mean,
and the first 5 games.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, impressive. Impressive.
Shaq and Kobe, and then going way back to Elgin Baylor and Jerry West. Right. So that's pretty cool. And then on the Pacers side, they didn't look like themselves at all in this game. I thought Haliburton, I know he had the quiet stat, only 7 shots, but I just thought him not getting into the paint, setting guys up, was the bigger deal. Him not getting 2 feet in the paint, because the Pacers are named the Pacers for that, to start getting that thing going, and he just wasn't. I thought Mikal Bridges had his best defensive game on him throughout this season. Yeah, off the ball. It was just impossible. And so the Pacers, it was impossible for him to get his flow going because Mikal Bridges was great. So some fun stuff. The Pacers fighting back to getting it down to 12 and Landry Shamet. A lot of fun on the Knicks side to hear their MSG chanting Landry Shamet's name. But in overall, just the Knicks. An Knicks throttle, really.
Yeah, I mean, it started, like you said, with Brunson. I thought he played like SGA did in Game 5 to start the game. I think he scored or assisted on the first 8 points for the Knicks in this one. And then he started aggressively looking for the 3, and that started dropping. He had 14 points early in this game in the first quarter alone. Had a quiet second, but got up to 32, 5 and 5 in a do-or-die game. He was awesome. He was like that key difference in the first quarter and then in the third quarter. And then, because of the bench actually contributing, I love Tibbs suddenly playing guys off the bench now, he got some rest. And then obviously was fresh enough as the game went on. And then, yeah, Cat. I mean, their stars came through here to at least force a Game 6 back in Indy.
100%. We just ridiculously put out a short saying how the Pacers have had the 2 best players in the series. They have, but not last night. The 2 best players were both on the Knicks. Their stars showed up completely. You mentioned how good Brunson was through 3 quarters. He outscored the Pacers starters by himself, 30-29. Pretty impressive. I also thought Towns was just a bully last night. 8 of 12 in the restricted area. He wasn't settling it at all. The Knicks outscored the Pacers in the paint 60-34. You could just tell they were coming in with desperation. This is probably the best the Knicks have looked, certainly in this series, maybe in the entire playoffs. They dominated on the offensive end, getting whatever they wanted. They took Indiana completely out of their game. On the defensive end, they had some depth. They came out, they scored the first 5 possessions, and then they just kept it up. Every time the Pacers would go on a run, somebody was able to respond. I thought Towns was huge in the second quarter. The Knicks were +8 with Brunson sitting on the bench. Shamet was helping out during that stretch. And then in the third quarter, the Pacers made it interesting. They cut the lead down to 10. You're like, uh-oh, is this going to happen again? Certainly the Knicks had to be feeling a little tight, but Cat's on the bench. Brunson keys a 12-0 run, including that 4-point play from the right wing where he knocked down the 3. Bridges was pretty sweet, I thought, during that stretch as well. The Knicks just were ready for this game. They said, our season's not ending tonight, and it was a great performance from them. They controlled the pace all night. You mentioned Bridges. He was in Haliburton's shorts from the half-court line on, and then when Haliburton would get off the ball, like he likes to do, Bridges wasn't giving him any space. No. He would just stay completely attached to him, and that's why Haliburton had such a poor game. He's got to be better. You know, we talked about Anthony Edwards when he was not looking to score necessarily for the Timberwolves in Game 4. Haliburton was the same a little bit here. Yeah. A lot of it was the Knicks defense not giving him any space, not letting him get where he wanted to go. But there were some mid-range attempts that he could have taken that he's going to need to take in Game 6 back in Indiana. The team is better when he's looking to score rather than just being a pure distributor.
Yeah, he only had 8 points. He did have 6 assists, 0 turnovers, but only 7 shots. You said it there, Tass. And like, that's the worst thing you can do in the NBA, I tell you. If you're like considered an all-star, considered a star, it's just to not really shoot. I mean, even Rizzler wrote in his newsletter this morning, the difference between Brunson and Haliburton, it sort of was on display last night. He wrote, I love this line, Brunson's an absolute machine. Sometimes he'll be inefficient, but he's going to be heard every night. And Haliburton doesn't seem capable of setting aside his style to be heard on nights when his style isn't working. End quote. That's Rizzler in that fantastic newsletter. Good morning, it's basketball. I think that is right. Like sometimes the right play is just deciding I might be the best option tonight for our team because we lack the juice. And I know it goes against the whole sort of style of the Pacers, but that's never a problem with Brunson, even on the nights where the shot isn't falling. Like you're always gonna be heard.
Sure.
So like
you
the
see,
quiet
you gotta go
shots.
like a Dion Waiters mode. I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9.
I mean,
I think that
no,
kind of,
but
honestly,
times,
kind of.
yes.
Your stars have to score.
Yeah.
They have to in the playoffs. Like people talked up Anthony Edwards' playmaking. That's great, man. He was making plays, and I will say he had 5 turnovers to 6 assists. Not great, but you got to score. Your stars have to be stars in the playoffs, and the Pacers weren't last night at all.
I think in general though, like the Dion Waiters quote, like people they're fine if you're a superstar and you go 2 for 20. They are. They're more fine with that than you going 1 for 5 or 1 for 6. Yeah, like just not having an impact and trying to grab the game. For sure, they do.
Sure. I think trying to get the game can also be shown in the way he was penetrating, and that wasn't happening.
You're right.
He needed to get in the lane more. He needed to be better off the ball. When Mikal Bridges was on him, he wasn't managing to get enough space to get into that paint, to start things up and get guys going. That being said, nobody had anything going.
No, you're right.
Not. Well, Benedict Mathurin had it
awesome.
Going to the free throw line.
Mathurin has had 2 straight 20-point games. He's looked decent. I thought when he came out in the second quarter, he was the guy they put on Brunson. It was a decent matchup. He was staying in front of him. That's not his forte, but he was doing a decent job. So to see him, get to the free throw line a lot, hit 6 shots from the floor, his best 2 games of the playoffs, period. I love these coaches, both Carlisle and Tibbs, going way deep. They're going way deep. Jarace Walker, his best game of the playoffs, which doesn't say a lot because they don't play him, but they're saying we need somebody to score the basketball. And he came off and bopped a couple threes. Yeah. They had no one. Even Pascal just wasn't it. Karl-Anthony Towns was beasting Pascal Siakam on the offensive glass, in the post, driving at him. This was a great Karl game. We'll get to him flexing a little bit later in the show, but those flexes were all warranted.
A lot of flexes from this guy.
So many.
But warranted, you're right.
Yeah. He's not the most defined arm type of guy, but I like watching him do it. I think he's cool.
Yeah, he's got Jared Dudley arms. Not natural cuts.
No.
But he's got to be strong as hell.
Oh,
right?
for sure he is. Yeah.
He's beasting it right now. Again, those stats, 25 and 12 throughout this series, he's trying, man.
Isn't that like what he averaged during the regular season?
Basically the same numbers.
This guy's awesome.
I was actually
good,
talking with our guy Daniel at our run on Thursday nights about who is a good comparison to Karl-Anthony Towns in the history of the NBA. Because he's a giant dude that's coordinated but oddly sort of isn't coordinated. He's such a weird style. Obviously a great shooter, so there's that. We were struggling. We were I don't know, are there shades of DeMarcus Cousins in him? Is there, there's that little bit of Dirk in him, sort of a lumbering big dude but can shoot the ball. I don't know if anyone else comes to mind of Karl-Anthony Towns comparisons, just sort of body type and the way they play.
I thought we had this discussion about a guy who could drive, a 7-footer who could drive like that. I thought there was a better name. There's not many.
No, he's unique.
They didn't let guys do that very much.
No, that's a good point.
Guys like Karl Towns got into the league, but he's probably honestly somewhere in between Boogie Cousins and Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk wanted to shoot outside. Yeah. Towns doesn't always want to shoot outside. He took 4 threes last night, and that's kind of a high number for him. That was a criticism of him during his Minnesota days, even at times during his first season with the Knicks here, is that he doesn't take enough threes for a guy who calls himself the best big man shooter of all time, but he really wants to pump fake and drive, and that's what's been really effective for him in this series because he's got some strength advantage over Miles Turner and definitely over Siakam, and then if it's ever bench guys, then easy eating for Karl-Anthony Towns.
I mean, sure.
I mean, it makes sense, but that's just a dumb phrase. That was just easy eating for him last night. he was just having a can of Ensure. Easy eating, easy calories.
Yeah, I thought you were going easy Edie. I thought was coming out of you. Zach Edie. Karl-Anthony Towns is new Zach Edie. No, is it easy eating? That's all right.
He was eating. He was definitely eating.
He was powering through every single guy on the other floor.
Let's talk about, you sort of mentioned it, Tass, Tibbs, playing guys off of his bench here. And he's been I think Dwyer wrote in his newsletter, Tibbs here has now introduced the idea of rest and rotations in the postseason with the Knicks lineups that he's throwing out here. Because we had at one point in the second quarter, I think it was to start the second quarter, DeLon Wright, Deuce McBride, Landry Shamet, Josh Hart, and then Cat. That started the second quarter. I was like, This is an odd lineup. I was like, I don't know. It more than held its own, that 5. I think they won that battle before OG checked in for one of those guys. They won it 13-9 if I clocked it right. I know you got the popcorn machine up right now. So, I mean, it just worked. And man, Landry Shamet, I've never seen him play that hard defensively. Ever. These other guys, DeLon Wright, he's going to get in there and give you at least some defensive energy. Same with McBride, fighting over screens. Landry Shamet, no, he's never done this.
No.
But he was playing so hard, and then I think that's really what warranted that Knicks chant of Landry Shamet. He was giving them something on both ends, not just scoring. So
he definitely helped.
It was amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you think back to it, we talked about Cam Payne in Game 1. And how many times they showed this guy on the broadcast, despite the fact that he had made one shot. What happens if Tibbs plays Shamet and DeLon Wright over Cam Payne in Game 1? They probably don't blow that lead in the fourth quarter. These guys have given them a little bit of juice defensively and then making enough shots on the offensive end as well.
Yeah, it was wild to see and hear the crowd chanting his name. That was the only New York Knick that they chanted, I'm pretty sure, was Landry Shamet.
Yeah, and then they gave us a good Nixon 7 chant at the end of the game.
Yeah. And to see Landry go into the crowd like he's Alex Caruso of OKC, just getting the crowd pumped. was very, very cool. I am looking back because I am having some flashbacks of Landry Shamet playing defense when you say he never played defense.
Really?
Somewhere maybe in his Phoenix Suns days when they tried to get him to help them go back to the finals. Maybe not.
I don't think anybody can remember Landry Shamet games. Come on.
No. But
he's been a great find.
I've never seen him play that hard. He had a long
The Clippers
stint.
was more of a his offensive numbers.
Yeah, he's like that's
days.
what I mean. He's bounced around a lot. He's been let go by a lot of teams.
Yes.
He's been dealt by a lot of teams. I mean, he is a good scorer. He can obviously shoot, but I just don't remember him being that locked in on that end. And, that's why I love the Knicks crowd. I mean, they're so into it. They're like, oh, my God, this guy's like, he's giving it on that end. That's why they're chanting his name, for sure.
Yeah.
And he played a long stint there because Tibbs was loving him. He's like, oh, man, he's having an impact here.
Yeah, Tibbs is just bouncing the minutes pretty well now, playing him only 14 minutes. He doesn't play him a ton. Same with Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup, having his first good game, but also not overplaying him.
Yeah.
Under 20 minutes, so... Yeah, he's found it. And you're right, Trey. Maybe in the first game, if Payne sits, things are different because Payne tries to do a little too much in those minutes, as we always see. But Shamet's got it right now. He's playing it right. DeLon Wright also doing the same thing.
He's playing it Shamet right now.
He's playing it Shamet.
Yeah, they were both good. Bridges, like we talked about, was much better. Like, he was pretty bad in Game 4. And the screen and roll down the stretch, it was just put Brunson and Bridges into action. They couldn't do that last night. Brunson brought it defensively. The guy's not a lockdown dude, but he gave a lot better effort. And if he's setting the tone on the offensive end and trying on the defensive end, if you're Landry Shamet and you check in, you're like, I'm playing 15 minutes. I can go all out here.
Yes.
Look what Jalen Brunson's doing. I'm going to play that hard.
Yeah.
So it filtered on down. The Knicks, this was an awesome performance from them. Their back was against the wall, and they said, not tonight.
Yeah, it is true. Like, these guys that are getting in there for that 15 to 20 minutes, like in Mitchell Robinson's case, like, just go balls to the wall, man. Like, you're not going to be out there all that long because suddenly our coach is now like playing other guys.
A normal
here,
rotation. Giving
even his starters like Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson like a very normal, 36 or under minutes in this game. Like that's not even a lot really for a postseason game. So yeah, he's actually doing it here, and these guys are contributing. We also did have the Pacers employing the hack-a-Mitch there. That was in the third quarter. That's when that thing got cut to 10.
It got dicey.
And then that's, Tibbs was like, okay, I think he missed both those, didn't he? He sort of clanked both of them and then took him out to avoid any more of that. But that's when you said Brunson again sort of put the team back on his back and got the lead back up to 20. We even maybe there is when we had that Nova Knicks play, right? Where it was like Brunson to Bridges, and then Hart made that late cut, found him for the layup, and the crowd was loving that. Good performance here from the Knicks. Also, I just have like the Pacers like early in this game, just too many like dumb mistakes. Like they just weren't locked in like we've seen from the Pacers all postseason. Nembhard early in this game, who had a really bad game. He's had two
struggled this whole series.
Now. Yeah, especially the last two. But he had a wide open layup. Like it was Olay Knicks defense. And he like didn't take it, instead kicked out to Nesmith for a 3 on the wing. He missed it. There was that. Obi Toppin, brutal game from him. He completely lost Mitchell Robinson in semi-transition. Easy dunk underneath. 2 plays later, Toppin just like tried to split the Knicks defense like he was a point guard. Stan Van was not loving that. He's like, well, you're doing too much, man. So he turned it over. Way too cute. Nembhard had butterfingers. Nesmith traveled on the first possession of the second half. Just dumb things like that. Yeah.
They're off. Obi Toppin has never tried to handle the ball in this series. That's why he's been so great. He's been smart. But it seems like it seemed like in this game, they waited way too long. They just didn't get into their offense until 5 seconds left. And Obi Toppin really didn't have a choice. He's like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
They were late.
Yeah, it's a good point. I wrote in my notes here, it was like 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. And I'm sure it has happened maybe once or twice in this series, but the Pacers had a possession where they had to use all 24 seconds. I couldn't believe it. There has not been many of those in this series or in their entire postseason run where it's like, whoa, my God, great Knicks defense. The Pacers just could not generate anything. They couldn't get by anyone, and I think it ended with Haliburton like trying to hit like a fadeaway 3 on the side as the shot clock expired. I was like, it jumped out to me. I was like, oh my God, they made them use the entire shot clock, and then like had to force up a heave. So
yeah,
I mean, again, maybe it's happened a couple times, but not many times.
No.
Yeah,
my friend Phil that I was sitting with saw that Haliburton shot, and he said, "Whoa, what is he doing? He's trying to win the game here in this quarter." No, it was literally at the end of the shot clock. Didn't happen very often. And TJ McConnell laced it up and shot a three. I mean, they had no real spark. And Haliburton just was sparkless coming off that great game. It's rare for them to win games when he has such few points. It doesn't happen. 26 and 27 overall this entire season when he scores under 20 points. Now 0 of 2 when he's done it in the playoffs here. And when they when he scores, period, they're 31 and 4 when he scores 20 or more. So,
can't believe you have 2 friends named Phil.
2 Phils.
Wow, that's crazy. That's got to be rare. All right, let's. Anything else from the actual game? You want to get into some fun random notes here?
Aaron Nesmith, he didn't hardly do anything last night. Only played 16 minutes. Missed most of his shots. He was 1 for 8. Basically benched during the fourth quarter. Were they saving his ankle? Who knows? But they need him out there to guard Brunson. You see the result when he doesn't. You mentioned Nembhard's been struggling. Miles Turner also struggling. This was just a bad game for the Pacers. I mean, they turned the ball over 20 times. That never happens for them.
Yeah.
The Knicks destroyed them on the glass. They took 15 more shots. It was Knicks pace the entire game. So will Indiana be able to flip that going forward? Probably. They scored 100 in game 3 when they lost that game. Tyrese Haliburton comes out and says, that's not us. We'll be better the next game. And they were much better the next game. He had that incredible game, 32, 12, and 15. A lot of pressure on the Pacers, I'll say, in game 6. The most pressure they've had on them this entire playoff run, I would have to think. But they also haven't lost back-to-back games since March 10th.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Look, you're going to get a much better performance from them, especially their main guys, and we'll see what the Knicks bring. But it's a good point there on them rarely losing back-to-back games. And that was the first time that they didn't close out a series this postseason, too, right? I mean, they took care of business in Game 5. That was the big comeback against the Bucks. And then it was Haliburton going head-to-head with Mitchell in that Game 5 to put them to sleep. So couldn't get it done in New York in Madison Square Garden, but they'll have a chance at home.
Yeah, that was... That Game 5, Milwaukee, it's fun. I know it seems like...
Oh, that was like 10 years ago.
Years ago. But literally, Gary Trent couldn't catch the ball. Here comes John Haliburton to confront Giannis Antetokounmpo. What a world.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great point. John will be back for Game 6.
He is
not allowed
he's their
to
superpower,
go to Game 5.
It's that towel with the sun on it, for sure.
So, honestly, I couldn't believe I wrote this note. Okay. Could a Tony Bradley injury swing the conference finals? He got landed on that weird foul. Was that Robinson that fouled him and bent his hip all weird? So he had to sub out, which meant the Pacers had to turn to Thomas Bryant, who is a downgrade from Tony Bradley. So I don't know. Jarris Walker I thought was pretty good actually last night. So maybe they just go with Jarris Walker over Thomas Bryant because you don't want to see those minutes.
No, you don't. Well, hopefully he can play in Game 6. All right, let's get into some random notes, JD.
Random!
Yeah, let's start with this one because it was making its way around the Twitter sphere. It was a game of tic-tac-toe played between 2 Knicks fans. It's the whole thing where you got to go do the layup, come back, and then put your piece down. And we had a guy just straight botching the block here. So super fast on the right. Quick layup, get back there. All right, man, you got it. You got the block. Put your O right there. There you go. What? Why did he run right by it?
Oh, man.
Why?
That's a own goal, I would say.
I don't know. He just freaked out. Or it looked like he was going to put it down there.
It looked like it.
And then he goes, I'm going to go right by it, put it up in the corner, and instead the guy gets the win with the X's.
I think he was playing for the win and not to lose. This is a rare scenario where you want to play not to lose.
Not to lose?
Yeah. You got to foul up 3 there.
Somebody said they were playing for $1,000. I didn't fact check that, but
$1,000?
I don't know for sure. But that's what I heard, which is pretty crazy if that's the case. But
I'd say it's more of a gift card at the MSG Stadium for $1,000.
For
$1,000, though. Yeah, which is true.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You mentioned Cat flexing all game long. He did a lot of his his double flex that he's been doing all series, all postseason. But he did have another one where he powered to the rim. It was midway through the second quarter. And he's just going to give us the one-arm flex. But the reason I wanted to show this clip is he ends up giving that guy there in the orange hoodie a nice high five, right?
Yep.
And I was just watching this going, basketball is goddamn awesome. A superstar player could just give you a high five. Just goes 2 feet into the crowd. And you can legit just high five a player. Or sometimes a player will fall into the crowd. You can help them up, give them a pat on the back. You can't do this in a lot of other sports. It's just amazing to me. I don't know.
You can't?
You can't.
Yeah, I mean, in
football you can't. Hockey you can't.
Lambeau leap. Hockey you can't.
Okay.
Baseball, they dive into the crowd for foul balls.
Yeah, but fans are closer to the game here. In
fans are
scenario.
closest to the game.
Yeah, they go for a little walk up there. Sometimes, when you get fouled, and you kind of go for a walk and cool off in between like 6 rows of fans. You don't get that at Lambeau.
No, it's just amazing. Just amazing.
Okay. Yeah, it's fun.
This was back-to-back jacks, I think, for Karl-Anthony Towns, too, right? Like, he had back-to-back and ones, I think, and it ended up right next to that guy both times. I think the Knicks had 8 and ones last night. They only made the free throw 5 times.
Wow,
that's a lot of times that they were going to the line for that.
Holy crap.
This is the most he's ever flexed, I'd say.
Yeah, and he does the LeBron, like...
Yeah.
What would you even say it is? Putting on a jacket? And, like, Towns looks like he's wearing a big old puffer when he does it. A full...
Yeah.
That's true. I always just consider that a flex, but I mean, I guess it is in a different way. You're almost flexing your shoulders. Your lats.
Yeah. Neck flex.
Yeah, and the guy he did it to was Ben Mathurin, which is like, okay, I'm way bigger than you, dude. Check the shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, it's his version of you're too small to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's Cat's version of that. But he's doing it a lot.
Ben is too small.
Great.
We had some funny... Well, actually, sticking with Cat, I couldn't stop laughing at Stan Van Gundy's frustration with Karl-Anthony Towns. Mm-hmm. Does he secretly hate him? He brings up a whole lot of times about the dumb fouls.
Yes.
And about just other things. He's always like taking a little shot at Karl-Anthony Towns, I find. And I get it. He's a frustrating player.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's because he is so good and then he does dumb things and it's like, man, I don't know, it's like odd. But I'm convinced he is not the biggest fan of Cat's game.
He probably just sees only the potential and the mistakes, right?
Yeah.
He's like, if you played perfectly with your head on your shoulders right the entire time, you would be 30 and 15 rather than 25 and 12 and like a nails guy in the clutch. And I don't think Towns is that, but he can't dodge it at all. He had an awesome game last night. They got him on Inside the NBA. They do a whole interview, and Chuck's like, I gotta criticize you. What's with all the dumb fouls? Towns like does his best to laugh it off, and then he goes deep voice mode. God only knows. Had to go deep voice when he's on with those guys.
Yeah, the slides on too.
Yeah, he's chilling
as they're on the floor. Another funny commentary line. Reggie Miller, he was pissed with that review of Deuce McBride getting the hard playoff foul on Siakam. He wanted to go look at it, anything malicious, and he was not happy that they were taking the time to look at it and said, "I've been kissed harder than this." So what a line from Reggie. He was not happy with that review, and rightfully so. There was nothing crazy about that. It fully on the arm, wrapped him up, no hard super fall. But that's a pretty good line from Reg, I thought.
Great line. I think we're at that point in the playoffs where even broadcasters are saying, man, I've been working hard for 6 weeks. And he's like, I want to be done with things. I think that's what it is. He's the Leo Gomon of broadcasters. He's getting a little tired right now. It happens. It happens to the TNT guys. They didn't have to celebrate and say goodbye as their last broadcast.
No, that's right. They'll be back on Saturday night.
And next year and the year after that, probably. Hopefully.
Right.
But not on TNT.
That's like when we went to Toronto for Game 5 of the Raptors finals. And they lost and then won in Game 6. We're like, well, a couple of more shows for you. Yeah. That was funny. I did like where they have been putting Inside the NBA's set in Madison Square Garden. They're like higher than the banners that they have hanging up there.
Oh, yeah.
They had Chuck talking about it last night. They got us up so high I could touch God. That's the only chance I'll get to see him. I'm going to hell. Oh, don't say that. But a lot of y'all are going to see me too. That was so funny, man. And the view looks crazy.
Oh, yeah. They are so high.
Is it a spiteful placement from the MSG people?
Nah, I just don't. There's not a lot of places, in all honesty, like to put like a booth like that. There isn't. It's like that weird upper echelon catwalk, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's a great arena. It's the best arena in the world.
But they're way up there.
It is funny. They're so far up there. And then but then after the game, they're on the court.
Yeah.
They bring them on down and put them in stools down there and let Ernie hold the clipboard. A few other random notes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's been a game. But it took me until last night to realize that the Knicks don't do free playoff shirts. Has that been the case the entire series and postseason? I was like, oh, they don't do it. Like all the other places. Yeah. Somebody in the stream team, let me know. Maybe they did it and I'm just forgetting, but I can't recall a time. It's like one thing Dolan doesn't want to dish out the money for. It's like, nah, we're not doing that.
Go to the gift shop.
Yeah, probably.
What was their slogan in the first series?
It's a win for the Burrows.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's just like that's not, they don't give that out to the crowd. That's just
shirt.
the team, yeah. So
they just think that nobody will wear them?
I sort of think so.
Probably.
Yeah, we're like, I mean, it's New York City, man. So that's I just took me until last night to realize, like, oh yeah, they don't do that. I would like to see us add the concept of Mitch board to the lexicon of Hoops Talk. Hear me out here.
Okay.
I think it only happened once last night. The Mitch board to me, Mitchell Robinson, fighting for an offensive rebound, not getting it, but because he's trying so hard, the defense deflects it out and it stays Knicks ball. We need to like term that something. And I feel like Mitchell Robinson gets a lot of those. He has in this entire postseason. That's just like something we've brought up before on the show. Again, didn't happen a lot last night, but it happened once early in the game. So I don't know if we can do better than Mitch board, but like it is pretty impressive. Like, and it doesn't show up in the box score, right?
This is true.
We should be tracking these because that is like, that's giving you another possession in the out of bounds under the net. All because you showed some hustle. So anyway, I'm just like pitching that to you guys.
Yeah, does it get mentioned anywhere? Like, does that go down as a team rebound for the Knicks? You know, if the opponent knocks it out, I don't have any idea.
I don't think those ones do. But
maybe
Schumann would know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is a big time thing to just
huge.
get an extra little bit of a possession for trying hard and being the biggest guy out there.
Totally. And then my final note. Yeah, this is my final random note. Do you guys believe the Google search trends they show us?
That one last night was unbelievable.
So the one last night, searches for NBA 3-1 comebacks are spiking 300% in the U.S.
Spiking. Surge pricing.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I just, because they're always too convenient, aren't they? Like about what, it's like they run with a little angle from that particular game. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it is spiking 300%.
The only thing that makes me think a little bit like it could be legit is I remember that they had one about Achilles tendon tears when Tatum blew out his Achilles. Yeah. And I was like, they wouldn't have that pre-produced.
Right.
That was hamstring.
They would have to really check. They would have to check the search trends to find that information. But some of them are too convenient. Like the 3-1 lead one, for sure.
But the Knicks are coming back. It's 300%. I don't want to do the numbers, but how many people are searching for it? How many is that elevated? But there was the one where Steph pulled his hamstring, and hamstring recovery time also spiked. That's believable. They do a good job.
Okay,
of keeping it
I believe it spikes because of whatever is happening with an injury or the series and all that. But like, are they just making up the number?
Probably.
Are they just like, throw 300% on it?
That sounds good.
I don't know, throw 250 on it. Like,
yeah.
Or is that actually doing it? Somebody's looking it up. I mean, I guess we could check, I'm sure, but
but as soon as we start Googling it, the search trend spikes.
Exactly.
Throws everything
the numbers
out.
are all wrong. Yeah.
I'd love to see one that says the search term Knicks Bing Bong Side Talk NYC video has spiked 5,000%.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. People want to see that.
Right. Okay. Any other random notes? I'm fresh out of
notes.
Yeah.
I have a note. I'm not trying to bait here, but I think Tyrese Haliburton carries the most out of anybody in the playoffs right now and gets away with it, as in puts his palm under the ball. I'm not trying to bait. I'm not trying to say he's overrated, which is always fun to think about because the whole overrated thing has taken another level. I mean, when we think back, actually think back on it, 90 players actually took the poll. So 90 of the 450. All right. Okay. So like 20% of players. Right. So just 20%. And 14.4% of them. So 13 of those 90 players said he's overrated. So 13 players in the best league in the world said he's overrated. Who knows who those players are?
I think it was one team. I'm still convinced.
Okay. Exactly.
It was like, just throw it on Haliburton.
I don't know which team. It was the Bucks?
Yeah, maybe.
They hate this guy.
Yeah.
13.
Sure.
But it has permeated into the whole basketball world now that he's overrated. And really,
and he makes
could
it
be
sound
anybody.
like half the league thinks he's overrated.
Exactly,
yeah. You're right.
That's funny how things work like that. Hey, a little vestige in your head. Oh, yeah. And that's there forever.
Hey, he's making money off it. I know our friends at Breaking Tea were the first that I saw to have the Overrate That t-shirt. But I know Haliburton himself with, he's Puma.
Yeah, he's
they just released one. Overrate that. Same thing. So
Well done.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So 13 people making money for him.
All I want to say is that I'm sitting with my friend Phil last night watching the game. It hurts. And I want to point it out. I want to point it out because I'm watching a man dribble. He's got such good handles, but he's able to put his hand under the ball a little bit. So I just say, do you think he's palming it? Do you think he's carrying the ball? He said, who? Which guy? It doesn't resonate, I think, with some people watching the game, but he does it so well, and it's just such a fine line for refs to call. Anyway, I'm okay with it, I guess, but I kind of don't like it at the same time. It's like he's almost palming it. He's so close. It's not Luka, but it's kind of Luka.
It's sort of the way he moves with the ball. That I know what you mean. Like that,
Definitely.
That sort of style that he plays with it.
Yeah,
how
yeah,
he
yeah,
dribbles. Like he probably does get away with it a little bit more, but.
Yeah. Anyway.
Didn't do anything last night with it, so didn't really matter.
He dribbled a lot.
Yes, he did
dribble a lot. Didn't look to score or pass all that much, but the dribbling was there. Just Bob Cousy must be hating to see Tyrese Haliburton dribble anything,
So-
you know?
Nice Kuz.
Yeah, he voted him overrated until he carries the ball.
Before we sort of move on from this game and hit the beach to answer some questions, do you think we're coming back for a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden, or do you think the Pacers will have a much better performance and close it out in 6 on Saturday night?
I buy into the idea that it's nearly 3 months. I'm rounding up, but 2.5 plus months of them not losing 2 in a row. I'm buying into that. Yeah.
Indiana takes care of
I think
business?
Indiana.
Okay. Where are you going, TK?
Yeah, I think it's Pacers in 6. For this series, I just think they will bounce back. I think the Knicks will play hard as well because they figured out how hard they have to play to have an impact defensively in this series. I just think that the Pacers will be more ready for it and have some sort of a plan for Haliburton getting picked up at half court.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's great we got some NBA weekend hoops,
playoff
basketball at that on Saturday night. So thanks to the Knicks for winning Game 5. All right, let's hit the beach.
You got the buzz, I got the rockets. You got the nuts, I got the chocolates. We got that chit chat down pat, blah blah blah. You got that certain special, je ne sais quoi. Let's go to the beach, baby.
Yeah, we got a few questions from you guys by way of email, or you sent them in through social media. So appreciate everybody sending in the questions. First one here, Charlie writes in, Dear No Dunks, am I crazy to think Dallas is going to trade the first pick for Kevin Durant? They're clearly in win now mode with Kyrie, AD, and Clay, and Durant felt like the missing piece of the trade deadline. Thoughts? And on that note, when's the time you fully believed in something and felt crazy for it? Again, that's from Charlie. I guess he's even admitting that this is maybe a little crazy, this take, because it sort of stopped me in my tracks. I do not think the Dallas Mavericks will be trading Cooper Flag for Kevin Durant. But what do you think?
You're crazy for this one, Charlie. This ain't happening.
No.
Kyrie Irving's not playing next year.
Right.
Yeah. And I think they basically have said, we're going to be taking Cooper Flag. Literally, you can believe it a little bit because Luka Doncic was traded away by the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
So anything is literally on the table, I do believe, with Nico Harrison. But they basically got a do-over on getting a superstar. Luka out, suddenly Cooper Flag falls into their lap. They can't trade it away for a 38-year-old guy, Kevin Durant.
Now, yeah, would you like to get older when you don't know if Kyrie's playing next year? There's some optimism that'll come back, but why would you want to take that chance? Along with Anthony Davis, who was also injured, it'd be wild. I mean, yes, I think we're Charles. Was it Charles or Charlie? It was a Charlie with this email. Is believing in Nico Harrison, just doing whatever he wants, I suppose, and going for it right here, right now. And obviously Kevin Durant makes them a step better. And I wanted to pick the Dallas Mavericks if they were healthy in some series last year, or this year, right here, right now. I probably would have if they were healthy. But how can you buy into this team when you don't know if they're going to be healthy? Unless Nico's just... It's just a wild one, unless that's the case, which sounds absolutely nuts. I mean, everybody's getting older. All of them are getting. Clay is extremely old. Then you're going to get an even older guy. You got an injured Kyrie, an injured Anthony Davis for a lot of the season. The sure thing is Coop.
Yeah, I think they're going to take Cooper Flag. That's the move. But with Kevin Durant, obviously we all think he is going to be moved this offseason. Shams was recently saying that the Spurs were maybe kicking the tires on a Kevin Durant trade. So I was interested to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think that, I don't know, makes any sense to what they could do? No, I don't think they'd be trading the number 2 pick in a Kevin Durant trade, but they could trade some of their good guys in, Devin Vassell or Keldon Johnson or, Sohan or something like that. So good players that maybe the Suns would be interested in, but would you even consider that if you're the Spurs and where they are with Wemby and then Castle, and would you want a Kevin Durant in there?
They do have some draft picks that aren't their picks to trade as well, which would help out the Suns because they've traded basically everything away. Young players who would at least be helpful around Devin Booker, and I guess Bradley Beal would still be there. But I don't think the Spurs should do this. I think they kind of hit the gas pedal a little bit by trading for De'Aaron Fox last season, but they don't need to go all in on trying to be a top 4 team in the Western Conference next year. First of all, that's going to be hard to do. To bounce from what? Did they finish 11th this year? 11th? Yeah. 11th up to a top 4. I mean, who knows what Wemby's going to be like when he comes back from his blood clot issue. He was much better his second season than he was his first season. We're all thinking the Spurs are going to be better, but they've got enough time to let this mellow and see what their team builds together. They don't really need to accelerate it this much by going after KD.
Yeah, Spurs technically 13th when you...
13? Wow, okay,
yeah. They dropped off. They're a couple games back of the Suns and the Blazers, but obviously injuries were a part of that. Kevin Durant, unless you know that he's going to play until his early 40s, this is 37-year-old Kevin Durant. I mean, he's are you going to get 5 years of him plus Wemby plus De'Aaron Fox? I mean, it sounds like you're just bidding on a short time. That's a short window for Kevin Durant. Although, as you mentioned about the picks that the Spurs have banked, there's a ton of them. They do have a ton of them to trade. So, unless you're a doctor and you know Kevin Durant's literally going to play till he's 44, I mean, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to think that after what he's gone through physically, but I don't know. Modern medicine. I don't know. I don't know. He's had an extremely, extremely long career to this point. So that would be.
I just don't think. I don't think you make. I mean, the timing is a big question of this. Like, how aggressive are we going for it right away? So you may want to, let's see what we have with Wemby there, healthy, and Fox, and obviously if we take who we take at the number 2 pick, if it's Harper, and Castle for sure. But keep all of these picks, keep all these other young guys who are talented and can maybe blossom on another team in a bigger role, and wait for a bigger superstar or a bigger name that's maybe even a little bit more on your timeline.
Like a Giannis character or something like that?
Exactly. My point is I would not do anything like that for Kevin Durant if I'm the Spurs. And I don't
fair.
think
It's fair. It's fair.
Next one here from Exploding Steve. Hey, boys. The Celtics will likely break up its championship team this summer to cut down on payroll, and Jrue Holiday has been one of the most mentioned names as someone who could be on the move. Do you think Holiday still has something left in the tank? And which teams could you see trying to trade for a vet? Thank you, Exploding Steve.
Exploding Steve. Good question. I do not think the Celtics are punting by any means, but do they need to switch it up? To some degree. I think Kristaps Porzingis and the 1 year he has left is more likely to be moved than Jrue Holiday's, and 3 years and a good amount of money because it's more tradable, frankly, to trade Kristaps Porzingis. That being said, I do think the Clippers do want to go for it, and we'll get into a little bit of Clippers rumors a little bit later in the show. Holiday would be perfect, taking the place of Chris Dunn in that starting lineup to go along with Harden, Kawhi, Zubats. Those are the 3 locks you got to keep. And probably Powell. What did the Celtics get out of it, though? The Clippers have their own pick in 29. The Sixers pick in 29. If you put a little bit of sort of parameters on that, it's not going to be an unrestricted. Anyways, I'm not sure exactly what goes in terms of picks, but a Bogdan and Derek Jones Jr. could work along with the pick. I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
That's interesting. You say a pick would be going back from the Clippers to the Celtics. Yeah. Some people think the Celtics might have to attach a pick to get off of Jrue Holiday. Like you said, 3 years, $104 million, I want to say.
Right. It would be definitely a protected pick. But the Bogdan plus Derek Jones Jr., who I think would fit well with the Celtics, guy. I'm not sure if they have the exact talent for the Celtics, but Derek Jones Jr., underpaid, could fit. Those numbers in Bogdan and Derek Jones Jr., way shorter than what Jrue Holiday is getting. And maybe Holiday has, even though it's 3 years, I think he does have something left, even though this year was not a good one. But maybe he's a one-and-done type of guy. And by one-and-done, I mean one championship and you're gone. You win with the Bucks, time to go. You win with the Celtics, time to go. And be good. This was a bad year for Jrue. I just don't see him dropping off that quick. But it was a bad year.
Clippers did try to get Holiday before, like in 2023, and struck out there. And maybe they make another move. I guess Bogdanovich, like Chris Dunn and Eubanks, I think maybe gets you to Holiday numbers. Like that's part of the issue here. He makes a lot of money, so you got to give him a lot of salary.
Bogdan's a good starting piece.
Yeah, that's the starting piece. If this were to happen between LAC and Boston. You see any other trades, or what do you think of that one?
Well, I thought it was funny. I went to Hoops Hype this morning just to look up Jrue Holiday's contract to see what it was, because I know it's sizable, and the lead headline was Jrue Holiday to the Clippers. So, I mean, they've got to be in the mix. We just talked about a team that needs a point guard. The Mavericks need somebody to handle the ball next season with no Kyrie Irving, unless they're planning on playing Spencer Dinwiddie as their starter for the entirety of the season. I don't think that's very likely, and I can see the Warriors as well being interested in a Jrue Holiday. I was not willing to go on the trade machine in May, but those are two teams that I think have a need at point guard. Yeah. They are both older teams as well, so sometimes when you're that far down the road, you're like, hey, let's just keep doing it. Let's get older and older with a guy who I do think will be helpful. Jrue Holiday really struggled this season, was even worse in the playoffs. He's already like a fifth option on the Celtics, and that's kind of where he needs to be.
Yep. Yeah, that was odd how he finished against the Knicks, and that it's a one possession, but the way he guarded Jalen Brunson and hit him from behind, that wasn't Jrue. And he's not super duper old, but guys can fall off.
Yeah, especially at the point guard position.
Yeah, and he would play off the ball. Again, if it was a Clippers thing, they'd want him to take the place of Chris Dunn, a guy you could rely on to shoot the three ball instead of having to yank him off the floor. But I don't know what the Celtics get for him exactly, if they don't get precisely what they want from the Clippers. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Final one here. JD, this one's sort of for you. Guys, the fire alarm was the clearest audio of JD's life. Obviously, I freaked out a bit when I heard it, but even after you said it was in the studio, it got me. Just the cleanest audio game in the world from JD. All the best. Oh, look at this from Dan Land.
Dan Land.
Who just helped us out with some content this week. Thanks, Dan Land.
Thanks, Dan Land.
So, JD, that's quite the compliment. I guess.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Dan Land. Disagree. Got some audio problems constantly over here, but I appreciate the compliment. And I'm sorry I scared you with our
There's a lot of people like, whoa, is my fire alarm going off that were listening? Yeah.
Like when you hear police sirens on a song.
Right.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, what did I do?
My house burning down?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nah, just jitties.
Yep. Yeah.
That was a first, though, for us in doing, 5,000 shows, right? A fire alarm.
Going
off.
remember
going off.
Yeah. I don't remember that
in any of our shows. Back in your house, back when we were on Skype in all of our places, obviously in studios we've been in even. Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. So, there you go. Anything to add to that?
No, but it was loud.
Yeah.
It was loud. We were alerted to the presence of a potential fire.
My smoke detectors in our house are just, first off, way too sensitive and so damn loud.
Yeah.
You're like, all right. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to tell me that much. I just can't stand like we have a rule now in our house, you can't put the oven to 400.
What? How are you baking?
It's just we have a very hot oven, so it's 375, 380, you're fine. That's basically 400 we've decided. But man, anything over 400 and it's going off just from pure heat somehow.
Yeah.
They're very sensitive. It's good, but then one starts going and then they all start going.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn.
It goes off when Rachel's blow drying her hair. It's come on.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, just the heat.
Yeah, I guess.
How are we not at a point where it's voice activated, where I go, okay, I get it, and just shuts off, code word.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, exactly. How are we not there?
How are we not there? We've got the technology for it. Absolutely.
Well, mine speaks. It goes. It has the blaring siren, but also goes fire, fire.
Which you don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know that.
Blow dryer.
400 Fahrenheit oven.
Frozen pizza.
You don't need to put the oven at 400. 380 is perfectly fine. All right, great questions. Keep them coming, especially now as the basketball slows down. I mean, we were spoiled there with a game every night.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, we're nearly at the finals, and Jesus, we got like big gaps between games and the finals. Send your questions in. We'll be hitting the beach, I'm sure, a lot more. All right, before we go, let's have some rapid-fire fun. Tass, you got the cues, my man.
Here we go. First one. Giannis Antetokounmpo is still mulling his future in Milwaukee, according to ESPN's Shams Charania. Skeets, what are you currently mulling?
I am currently mulling over which new basketball sneakers I should buy. I am ready for some new sneaks. I got a great gift card to use for helping coach the YMCA basketball team. Very nice. Kind gesture from the kids and their families. So I'm trying to decide. I'm torn between the Sabrina 2s. I play in Sabrina 1s. I like those. Sabrina 2s are out. I sort of really do like how the Anthony Edwards shoes look. I don't know what they'd look like on me. I think you have a pair of the Jaw 2s.
Yeah.
You don't seem to love them, but maybe
no, not recommended.
Not recommended.
Nah.
Okay. Anyway, trying to decide. I think I'm going Sabrina 2s though, because I saw them last night again. Our friend Daniel, and I was like, I picked them up. I couldn't believe how light they were.
Yeah.
Like again, I have the Sabrina 1s. They're like half the weight of them. Which I like a light shoe, so I think I'm going Sabrina 2s. But I am still mulling.
Mulling it over.
Yeah,
Great
man.
choice. I'm actually going to get Booker's next.
And hooping them?
Yeah.
I mean, I got them on right now.
They look
but
good.
I don't know. There's so much like a skate shoe to me. So I don't feel like I could play ball in them. But I love how they look. And they're very comfortable.
Yeah.
Very, very comfortable.
I'm getting a pair of brown ones.
The Pooh shoes.
I'm going to be a brown
you're
shoes
gonna
guy.
be on
Yeah, it's
fire.
going to be awesome.
Hey, you were on fire last night, by the way.
I was.
I've never seen you score more with your left hand than last night.
Yeah, I was cooking.
Yeah. I think you
I can't deny it. I was hooping last night.
Did you set off the fire alarm?
He was on fire. We had some nice 1-2 action going.
We
A
did,
couple
we did.
beauty dimes. This guy last night.
Wow, close up of the book.
What?
It's a little dirty right now, maybe, but
It's an interesting shoe.
It's a
I
skate
totally
shoe,
don't think
man.
it looks like a basketball
It
shoe
do-
either.
it-
Totally looks like a skate shoe.
yeah,
That thick tongue.
yeah, man. It's comfy though. Very comfy shoe.
Yeah,
tap my
nice.
foot.
Tapping it.
All right, Trey, what are you currently mulling?
Shaving off all my hair for the summer. Woo! Buzz cut mode.
Whoa.
Yeah, two things happened. Both Brad Pitt related. Number one, GQ just did a new photo shoot with him as an old man. You know, like, he's probably in his 50s at this point. He looks incredible.
He looks awesome.
Yeah, he looks very cool in these photos. He's got a nice tight beard as well. And then I just recently watched Ocean's 12 again, and he's got a buzz cut in that, shaved face. This guy has the most perfectly shaped head on earth.
He
It's
does.
so round. It looks so good. So, like, I know I'm not going to look like Brad Pitt if I were to shave off all of my hair, but it would be nice for the summer. One downside, we just got headshots taken. So, like, it'll look way different.
Yeah, true.
But, I mean, it's the summertime. I could get my hair back to this length, I think, by the start of next season.
Sure.
So I'm mulling it.
Oh, this is fun.
Mulling.
Yeah, I like this. Do
Yeah.
it.
That's wild. Jackson, same thing. And I think for the same reason. I think he just watched Ocean's 12.
Why is everybody
And it's
watching
like-
Ocean's 12?
I don't know.
I think it just got to Netflix. It was
Yeah.
recommended to me so many times.
Oh.
It's very good. Better than I remembered.
Yeah. And Jackson's got he's like growing his hair back. He's like, Dad, I'm gonna, rebirth for the summer.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, he's gonna lock in, and he's gonna shave his head. I think.
It's the time to do it.
Yeah, I guess. But I'm like, I like your hair, man.
It's nice
I like
having
the way you
hair.
look.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, 61 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
looking good.
Yeah, this
Tom
guy
Cruise,
should be a movie
62.
star.
Clooney, 64. Wow, I always thought Clooney was way older than Brad Pitt, but
Yeah.
not really.
4 only?
Yeah,
Okay.
strange.
Born in
yeah.
Oklahoma? Didn't know that.
Who?
Will he be at
Pitt?
Oklahoma City? Yeah.
Yeah.
Be at the finals?
Wow, that'd be cool.
Interesting.
Brad Pitt, I don't think he likes basketball, does he?
Has he ever been in an NBA game? Probably at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
But-
there, but I don't ever remember him talking about his basketball fandom.
It is that time of year.
Okay, he has been at some games and he looks incredible in these two. This guy's got a lot of good looks. Undeniable.
Good-looking guy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
All right, Trey. Excuse me. JD, what are you currently mulling?
I'm mulling a complete makeover of this stupid studio. That's all I think
Yeah.
about.
Wow.
So coming soon.
All
New
right.
studio.
We're going to shave it down this
We're gonna
summer.
shave the head of the studio.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I thought when there was some chatter and then we confirmed that were doing a show on Sunday, and you said, well, it's better to do it in the studio because we contemplated doing it at our own house. You said studio. I thought, well, no, you're not feeling it. I didn't think you were feeling it. I didn't think you were in a studio mode. But
No. It's always better in the studio.
That's
but
100%
we need a refresh, guys. It's
We do.
It's time.
We slapped some paint on the walls. We put up some pictures. We didn't put a lot of thought into this, other than, are we going to fit in here? But now it's like, let's decorate. Let's make this place
nice.
look like a show. You know what I'm saying? It's a little gloomy. You know,
It's gloomy.
Feels like a
it's-
garage.
I mean, ever since the sign went out,
Yeah,
got real gloomy to me.
exactly.
That nice light behind Tass, that always like brighten my mood. But
Yeah.
we gotta fix that.
We gotta
Or
fix
get a new
that.
one.
Get a
and
new
then, like
one.
you said, we're doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
all right. Shave heads.
We're all
Got
changing
some
our
new
look
lights.
up.
New shoes, shaved heads, and new studio.
New look alert.
Yeah.
Next question. The Los Angeles Clippers are apparently very interested in shaking up their roster, making it look new. Lou Williams said they were going to try and get LaMelo Ball from Charlotte. Mass Live's Brian Robb said they were interested in Boston's Jrue Holiday. What are you interested in?
One of the best rapid fire questions.
Left it wide open.
What are you interested in?
The world is your oyster. Pick anything.
Oh, it's funny you say the world is my oyster. I'm interested in traveling this summer.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels like I haven't done a lot of it recently, at least sort of internationally. So, Nora and I got our eyes on flights to Lisbon, going back to Portugal, which we loved. Probably
Get
my
a new
favorite
sweater?
place. Butter Street it is, baby.
What are you doing, man? Go to Japan. Come on.
Go to Japan. First off, I got to go for weeks to Japan.
Okay,
I'm not
that's
flying
fine.
that far for a week. So
Take 2 weeks.
I want more than 2 weeks.
Take 3 weeks.
All right, you guys take care of the studio, I guess. Yeah, I do want to go to Japan.
You've been to Portugal. It's
I know,
a bucket
but,
list.
more
for you.
affordable flights.
The yen is garbage right
The
now.
yen is garbage.
The yen is garbage.
All right, now's the time
yen
to
Get
go.
your ass to
Garbage.
Japan.
Okay. Well, look.
Well, I don't want to hear about Butter
Butter
Street again.
Jesus.
That's all.
There's other parts of Portugal I would
I know.
like to.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, traveling
All right.
this summer, early fall.
Trey.
First of all, I got to give a shout out to Eric Kuhn, who just sent us a super chat. $1.99 going towards a new sign.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
Respect.
Great stuff, Eric. You own a part of the sign now. Something I'm interested in is creatine powder.
Hey, me too. I just ordered some.
Creatine is back.
Is that why I get non-stop ads for creatine?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Non-stop.
Well,
Because of you guys? Like,
well,
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
because Tass was in here yesterday flexing his muscles and
I was
looking
not
all good.
I was not pulling a Terry
And-
Crews. I was not flexing my pecs. I brought it up though. Danielle didn't enjoy her creatine experience.
Okay.
So I'm getting hand-me-downs. I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Creatine
I just started like
leftovers.
3 days ago.
Yeah, we were over at
Trey's
Tass's house not too long ago, over the weekend. Was it the weekend? Who knows what day it was? And I said, well, I mean, look, I got to say, Tass's arms are incredibly well defined.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
a
He's
Karl-Anthony
in the
Towns.
gym, man. He's putting the.
I know, he's looking so muscular. Honestly, after we did the pickleball video, everybody's like, how did Tass get so jacked? So I said, Tass, are you taking creatine powder? No, but he had some in the fridge, or in the pantry. So I ordered mine later that day. I can't believe it. In high school,
Yes!
I was a creatine guy. We had Bob Bennett came and coached our football team. This good old Tennessee boy. He brought the message of creatine to Plano, Illinois, and I took it like an idiot. You know, we all did. Kyle Sheely got gigantic. He was looking good. And then I didn't take it for 25 years, and suddenly creatine is back.
I
Yeah.
know.
And better than ever.
I'm so glad you said that's the exact thought I had. Like, my God, we all took this in like grade 10,
Yeah.
11.
Wow.
Everybody was doing creatine, and then it disappeared, it felt like, for 20, 25 years.
There was
But
a
it's back.
backlash, wasn't there? It was like,
Yeah,
this is terrible for
probably.
you. It's like,
There was a backlash.
Apparently, it's good for you.
Yeah, then they studied it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And apparently it turns
It's like,
out that's all
actually,
good.
it's fine.
I'm sure it's totally fine. So yeah, starting next season, I'm gonna be bald-headed and completely jacked.
Hell yeah.
I wonder if I wonder how jacked you get from creatine, because I'm taking creatine, but I ain't lifting that much. I'm not. No,
That's
I'm
because you're early. It's because you're early to the creatine. Once you get that ATP course into your
Oh,
muscles,
boy.
you won't be able to stop lifting.
Yeah, right.
All right.
All right, JD, what are you interested in?
What am I interested? I'm reading about the troubles in Ireland right now. That's what I'm interested in.
Wow, you really didn't like this question. You were the one who voiced their displeasure in this question. You wanted a more specified. You wanted a narrow type of question.
Yeah, I mean, like, what am I into? I play pickleball and I do the show. That's my life. I don't have any other outside interests. I am reading a book, and it's about the troubles in Ireland. It's called what the hell is it called?
Current troubles or like
no, the famous troubles.
Okay.
Why I'm interested because it's kind of why my family ended up in Canada, because they emigrated, and so that's the book is called Say Nothing. There's also a Hulu miniseries. It's about the IRA and the troubles in Ireland, and that's what I'm interested in. Boring.
Okay, well,
That's good.
It is good. Well, you did say yesterday that you like pickleballs, actually the actual balls that bounce less than the ones that bounce more.
If you want to get into this,
sorry, I opened that can of worms. So save it for no dinks.
The gym that we go to has bouncier balls than standard pickleballs, and is sort of ruining us for pickleball outside of the club that we're going to.
Interesting.
Because they're hard. The regular pickleballs are harder, but these are a little bouncier.
Now, would you say the bouncier the ball, the easier it is for people to play? Like, where's the skill level?
Great question. I think it's easier to hit it hard, but for me, it just flies out of bounds.
Oh, right.
So it's easy. It's harder to control for me.
Yeah.
But
I just imagine it's whatever you get used to.
Exactly.
That's like playing with a basketball that's like super inflated, or one that's a little more deflated.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's a preference.
Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. Last question. This week, Magic Johnson formally apologized to the OKC Thunder. A classic Magic tweet. Quote, "I want to apologize to the Oklahoma City Thunder for underestimating them and not thinking they are ready to compete for a championship." End quote. What's something you underestimated recently, Skeets?
Survivor fandom. And I knew people were into Survivor. I'm into Survivor. We do a Survivor show, but man, these last couple months where there's been all this like debate and rumors about who's going to get selected to Survivor 50, and people have opinions.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
My God, it makes like NBA fans seem neutered in their takes and their fandom. People go to bat in the Survivor world for people that they love, or the flip side, people that they absolutely detest.
Totally.
And it's crazy out there. And now my entire Twitter feed is all of this because, I start looking at it and getting ready for the show. And so now it's just I'm getting a constant barrage of people either, standing for said players or absolutely hating said players. It's passionate. So that's my answer.
People think Colby is going to win.
No,
Colby.
not many people think Colby's going to win. Maybe
Under the radar guy.
Yeah.
Maybe Jeff Probst does, but... Survivor fandom. I underestimated how crazy you are.
Crazy for this one.
Trey, what's something you underestimated?
The Rizzler. He's still got it, man. Like, you think about so many of these internet sensations, they're around for like a year, maybe 6 months at a time, and we're living like, I don't know, 3 years of the Rizzler right now, and he's just getting better. He's
We're on year 3 of the Rizzler?
I don't know. It's just, it feels like it. I'm like, let's think, where are the Costco guys right now? AJ and Big Justice, they're probably still giving out their booms, but they don't have the profile that the Rizzler does.
No, they don't. The Rizzler was just on Sesame Street.
The Rizzler, see?
Yeah. I think he was.
Oh my
He popped out of the can with Oscar the Grouch, I
gotta see this episode.
I think he's even got Elmo doing the Rizzler.
The Riz face?
Yeah.
Come on. The Knicks bring him out. Like, I saw all of the Knicks legends, like Latrell Sprewell, John Starks, Larry Johnson. There was one more, I don't remember who it was, with the Rizzler, and they're all doing the Riz face.
Yeah, it is wild.
Oh, Raymond Felton.
Raymond Felton, there you go.
That's crazy.
Like, am I gonna know about the Rizzler until he's an adult?
No.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't, maybe when he gets into drugs and stuff like that.
What? Yeah. Like, where are they now? Yeah.
Like, the Rizzler will be probably on, more likely Big Brother, but maybe Survivor 80 of season 80 of Survivor or something like that. The Traitors or something.
Don't underestimate the Rizzler.
You're right.
I mean, how old is he? 11?
I don't know. You could tell me he's 11 or 22. I have no clue.
I thought it was interesting. Okay, he was 8 years old as of 2024, so he's 9 years old?
Yeah.
9 more years with the Rizzler?
No.
Sign me up.
He got into the ring at an AEW.
Well, that's where his. That's
know
where the
it.
boom guys are. I think he's a wrestler still.
Yeah, it's
Big
his
Ju-
dad.
AJ?
is,
AJ,
or
yeah.
the dad.
The
Big
dad?
Justice. Wait, what are their names?
Big I don't
dad?
I don't know.
AJ's the dad, right? Big Justice is
The bigger,
Oh,
the
older
older
son, yeah.
The main son. This is great.
But then the Rizzler is not related. Like he's not family.
No.
That's the most insane part of that whole thing.
The Costco guys didn't underestimate the Rizzler. They said if we link up with this guy, we're gonna go to the moon.
Did you think the Rizzler was part of that family?
I thought he was another kid. Yeah.
He's not. He's not.
He's just a friend?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a friend.
He's just a
Just
friend.
a friend.
You say he's just a friend?
Baby you. All right. JD, what's something you underestimated recently?
I forgot about this one. I underestimated my ability to come up with something on the spot. I got too caught up in the Rizzler talk.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing. I don't know. What have I underestimated?
You have no answer.
I really got no answer.
Did you think you were going to get the pickleball into the toilet hat?
Oh, interesting.
Like, did you think it was going to take 5 attacks or?
I thought we would
50?
empty the entire box and then have to collect all the balls and do it again.
Oh, then you underestimated yourself.
I did
Yeah.
underestimate
Yeah.
myself.
The touch was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It took you like, I think it took you like 10, let's say 10 to 12 pickleballs to find it.
Yeah.
And then once you found it, you started pinging them.
Yeah.
And it got closer and closer and basically then did the wedgie and went in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it took, what did we say? It took like 20-ish balls or
Yeah.
20 to 25?
20 to
25.
25,
Yeah.
I'd say.
There were 100 balls too.
Yeah.
We
didn't
legit
fake it.
did have 100 balls.
We put so much work into these things.
I know.
Like
We could just-
accurately
I know. We
labeling
truly
each
trust
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was disappointed when the Jazz didn't win.
You thought it was meant
Yeah.
to be since
A little
we
bit,
actually
yeah.
went through the right protocols.
Exactly.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Honesty and integrity.
That's our thing.
That's our thing.
We're like Joe on Survivor.
That's right.
All right, let's call it there. That's rapid fire. Not so rapid, but not too bad this week. Hopefully this helped make a classic. You tell us. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. We will be back on Sunday from the Classic Factory to talk about Game 6. We're either talking about the Pacers moving on to the finals or the Knicks giving us a Game 7, baby. Will we hear Zaza on Sunday morning? We're going to find out after we watch the game on Saturday night, but we'll be here. So make sure you join us on Sunday morning. Till then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, Charles Barkley said he's going to hell, but I don't believe him. He's going to heaven. Yeah, I
agree.
I just decided.
He's got a generous spirit.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think the good outweighs the bad.
I agree with that. Embrace the day, Peter.